let's talk about managing your tables. What we can do is, with any table you can rename it. So if I right click on a table, you actually get a lot of choices here. Opening a table would be going into data view where we can do data entry. Design view is where we can add or change our fields and change the field layout. We can import data. This is another way we can import besides using the external data up here. We can export the data to different sources. So we can take the data from Access and go to any of those other the data types. Collect and update data via email. We can actually do an email poll and go right into the Access database. So that'll be a different lesson. We can rename a table. We can hide a table so nobody else would know it's there except for us. We can delete a table. If you delete a table, you have to be careful with that one because it'll delete it and you won't be able to get the table back. You'll lose your data. So be careful with delete. We can cut and copy. Maybe sometimes you copy a table, and in fact, let me show you what that would be about. If I copy the table, then of course the next step would be to do a paste. I'm going to right click on that table and then do a paste. Now when you copy the table, you can copy the structure only, which would just be the field layout without the data. We can copy the structure and the data, or we can append the data to an existing table. So this is a really quick and easy way to merge your tables together, assuming that they have the same field layout. So we're going to do the structure and the data there. And if you notice, now I have a new table called copy of employees, and it has the same data as the original employees table. So let's say you wanted to try something out and you didn't want to damage the original table, then you can just make a copy of the table like that. So we can right click on any table and be able to do those features, of course. Now let's go into a table. In this case, we're going to double click on the customers table. And that brings you into Datasheet, data view, Datasheet view, or we call this data view. This is where we can add or change our records or delete the records. So we can change anything about this table. If you just go to a field, if you wanted to change that field, you can just type over that. Not a problem. Okay. By the way, this data is the data that comes with Access in the Northwind database, but it's really good sample data. So you can just click on any field and over type it to change that field. Follow my mouse down here, and this is called the Record Navigator. This helps you go to your next and previous records very quickly. So here I can go to the first record, the previous record, next, and then this will bring me to my last record. And this guy over here is how we add a new record. All right, I'll get to that in a couple minutes. So I have first, previous, next, and last. Now, if you want to go to a specific record by its number, you're going to click on the record number, and let's say I want to go to record 50. I'm just going to type in the number 50, then I'm going to hit the enter key on my keyboard, and now I'm on record 50, as we can see. Alright, so that's a quick way to move around your table using the Record Navigator. Let's try that one where we were going to add a record. We're going to click on the asterisk, and we're going to add a record. So in this case, I'm just going to type in A for the customer ID, the company name. Let's put in Skill Caddy. The contact name, let's say, is Mary Smith, and the contact title, he is a co-owner. So the address, Mary lives at 123 Main Street, and Mary lives in Dallas, Texas. His postal code happens to be 12345. The country is USA. His phone number happens to be 215-555-1212. So you can see I'm just doing data entry here. His fax number is 215-555-1213. and that just put that information into the record. Now to add a new record, well, it'll let me do a new record again, but otherwise you click on the asterisk and that's how you can add a new record. Now it'll always put the record at the bottom of the table, but you're going to see that it doesn't really matter because we can sort on any field. But when you import a new record, it always goes to the bottom of the table. Another thing we can do in the table is we can delete a record. So to delete a record, I'm just going to right click on a record and then we'll say delete record. However, when you do that, look what it says. You're about to delete one record. If you click yes, you won't be able to undo the delete. So you have to be careful here. For that reason, I'm going to pick on no. Of course, if you really wanted to delete the record, you would pick on yes. But all I did to delete that record was right click and then pick on delete record, as we can see. Alright, so this gives you some quick and easy ways to manage your table in Microsoft Excel. Excuse me, in Microsoft Access. And then in the next couple of videos, we're going to talk about sorting the data, filtering, and also then we'll talk about doing just managing your data in general, and also finding the data. We're going to close that window. Now, if it doesn't ask you to save, it saves those kind of changes automatically. So that's a little bit about managing your table here in Microsoft Access.